Hello and welcome to Fiber versus Fixed Wireless Access After COVID-19, brought to you by Houlihan Lokey.
Jack, what's your view? Where are you seeing the biggest demand?
Jason actually mentioned what I'm seeing more and more, which is the need to increase the upstream speed in particularly in HFC network providers. Most HFC networks were, constructed with quite different downstream and upstream capabilities historically, which was great for doing all the Netflix and supporting that early on. But when people started to do work from home in a big way and needed more remote learning for schools and telehealth, the upstream started to get congested, and operators are kind of scrambling to increase their upstream bandwidth, which is possible with HFC. You can change the split, and a number of operators, at least those with more modern systems, are starting to do that. Also, when we get into fiber to the home systems, there are a number of fiber providers across the country that are strictly commercial networks. And as people leave the office, their office needs for bandwidth are decreasing. So those companies are kind of scrambling now to see if they can get into the residential, either as becoming fiber to the home providers themselves or acting as transport for fiber to the home providers. So more new opportunities. Companies that were concentrating on commercial are now concentrating on fiber to the home. That's really the biggest change that I'm seeing. And of course, in the HFC space, concentrating on upping the upstream bandwidth and less concentration on commercial in those areas.
With the former, does that mean that the numbers are different, because instead of taking a space in an expensive trench in a very dense metro area, they can now string fiber? Sorry, that sounds pejorative. I don't mean to be put fiber along poles in the suburbs. And does that change the business model of what they're doing?
Well, I don't know if the geography of the builds has changed much. It's more the customers. Whether you're building downtown to serve apartment buildings or to serve office buildings, it's still building downtown. And when you're building out the suburbs, are you serving office parks or residential communities?
Or the Amazon warehouse or something like that.
Right, that's where we see the emphasis changing. And companies which used to never compete with the local cable operator are now competing. I'll tell you one thing which we didn't mention about LEOs or fixed wireless or fiber to the home. They have finally put the last nail in the coffin of DSL.
Yes. Yep.
The opportunities in residential for fiber to the home and for fixed wireless are going to keep growing. But hopefully, as we come out of the pandemic, we're going to see a resurgence in the travel and leisure area, where now not only will we be building fiber to the home to residential complexes, but to hotels and resorts and the like. And
hotels and resorts, what are they? Remind me. I haven't seen one of those for a long time.
Right, because there's huge pent-up demand. I think once people are able to travel, you'll see them traveling like they haven't traveled before.
Yeah,
I think there'll be a huge explosion in the leisure and industry, including airlines and cruises and everything of that sort, because people are getting crazy just staying put.
I was talking to the CEO of Digicel just a couple of weeks ago, and obviously they've been really badly hit by the lack of roaming revenue, because there's nobody around in the Caribbean at the moment. There are no cruise liners and everything else. It's just they've just lost a huge part of their business and having to recreate it.
And as people are used to working from home, they'll be able to use the same tools to work from anywhere. So they could do that Zoom call in the middle of that happens to sit in the middle of their vacation.
No, it's too much. Too much.